Eddie's like, oh my gosh. And then you go off on tangents before you get to the, like, you'll say, hey, we're gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna go on these tangents, and then I'll talk about how we get to that. And it's like, oh my gosh, I get that's how you. I figured that's how your brain works because mine kind of does the same. But it's like, oh man,
Yeah, I'm on hyperspeed for sure.
yeah. Okay, we are live for sure. So we'll see.
But hello, friends and brothers.
Oh, hello,
So
hello.
we were talking earlier today about some stuff. Remind me what that was, because I was mowing a bunch of acres when you were telling me.
Are you talking about the being passive kind of thing that we're talking about?
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
So
I get that a lot.
yeah,
But
really, what it comes down to is we got one viewer. I don't know if you want to wait till we got a few more, but I'll go ahead and just start. What it comes down
yeah.
to is, oh hey Dan Best, what's up, man? But what it comes down to is,
What's up,
I
Dan?
think everybody knows about the controversy right now with Grand Lodge,
Right,
and
right.
I'm not afraid to talk about it, but with the controversy of Grand Lodge, and there's two mentalities really. Well, I guess there's three. You got one mentality of people that just don't care, right? Probably not Great Masons. But then you have another mentality of brothers that are just angry. They're angry, and
Right,
they want to address this and take care of it and fix it now. They
right,
wanted to fix it the day it came up. And then you
right.
have a probably a vast majority of brothers that seem to have this mentality of like, hey, just remember our teachings, remember what we're taught, and just stand by and let cooler heads prevail, and everything will take care of itself.
I don't think that that's what we were taught.
What you and I were talking about?
No, I said I don't think that's what we were taught.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think that's the lessons. I
if you go to the charge, I don't have my monitor around, but like the EA charge, there's a part where it says you're going to be a quiet and peaceful citizen, and
Right,
and
right,
and they apply that to Freemasonry also. But if we were so passive historically, there would never be in the United States. We'd still be under Britain. Texas
right,
would still be part of Mexico, right? Because
right, right,
it was the Masons that said, hey, we're not doing this. It's not acceptable. We're not going to live like this. We're going to stand up. We're going to fix it, right?
right.
And we kind of we've become kind of passive, kind of watered down. And I'm not saying we should be chomping at the bit to jump to at
Right,
every minor thing and just like, hey, this is time for a change. We gotta jump up and change everything. I'm not suggesting that,
right.
but I mean, enough is enough after a certain point.
But well, yes, and it's not a matter of being ugly just for ugly's sake. It's just a matter of saying, hey, that's not okay.
Hmm.
That's against our teaching.
Yeah,
And so we should be speaking up against it, because that is definitely, that's not just a charge. That's not just um a um a um a part of the degree work or anything like that.
yeah.
That is actually part of the promises that we make to each other,
Well, I mean, what is more
that
of a
we're going to hold accountable.
what's more of a Masonic offense? Uh, defaming the good name of a duly elected Grand Lodge officer in an open installation that's being live streamed with wives and children and family
Right.
and distinguished visitors from other
Other appendant
jurisdictions,
bodies,
other appendant
yes.
bodies,
Distinguished visit, yes.
or standing up and saying, no, you're not going to do this. We're not going to allow it. We're going to fix it right now.
Right. Right.
What's
And that's
worse?
what bothers me.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me is that, there's this big drag out, and instead of just going right to it, and I think if hmm, I think the big drag out is just trying to gather more stuff to pile on. I don't think it has anything to do with addressing the situation.
Yeah. And I think the brothers that they have the mentality of, hey, wait until the trial day and justice will prevail, or being naive.
Right. And I really don't. And for me, it's not even so much about any of that. It's a matter of, it's not about the original thing, right? It's about how it was handled in front of the public, as you stated before.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know that was downright against what we say that we're not going to do.
Yeah.
Downright against it.
Yeah.
And it's plainly shown in video. I mean, it's just right there.
Yeah. Was that video taken down off YouTube?
From the main source, it was.
Yeah. Is it?
But it wasn't taken. It wasn't taken down from the website that occurred immediately after.
Oh, it's on that website.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it points out the simple facts, and it's what you and I saw right there in person, was that it was planned out. It wasn't something that just came up.
Oh yeah, I mean, the hubbub before Grand Lodge even was opened was that he was going to be installed, and then he was going to read a list of charges before proceeding. That's what was said. And that's exactly what happened. So you can't say it wasn't premeditated.
Right, and we heard it from hearsay. In fact, I was hardly even ever at the actual building this year. I was over at the staging area where we did I can't even remember what it's called.
The pop-up shop.
Yes, I was at the pop-up shop the majority of the time, but I made sure to make it there for the installation. Mm. And in fact, I tried to make it there for the voting.
Oh yeah, we tried to get in there for voting.
I was locked out early. I was locked out before that vote began.
I'd never seen that before. Of course, I'm usually already in when it comes to voting time, but it seemed a little strange.
I knew. I had people say, okay, it's coming. So I ran over right away. And by the time I got there, which was, and they didn't hesitate either. I could show the texts. And I ran over there. And by the time I got there, the doors that I wanted to go to were sealed.
Yeah.
They would not let me go in.
Yep.
So
I don't know, man.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
It was still overwhelming without me there, right? So
yeah.
Even with me not having any part of it, not getting to have my vote, even though that would have been my vote, but even not being able to have my vote, it was still overwhelming, and it only took one vote, which it usually doesn't.
And the problem is we're getting all these young guys and these guys with young ideas just coming into our Grand Lodge and just ruining everything, just shaking it up. It's terrible. It's terrible, man.
Don't. Right. Yeah, that was the big controversy, was all the young guys.
Yeah, well, it will be again.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out with these younger guys running for Grand Secretary and things like that.
Right. That's which brothers, you need to pay attention to who's made themselves available. Yeah. There's some very worthy people that are making themselves available to keep us moving in a positive direction.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's pay attention, because they're the ones that have been creating the excitement. They've been the ones that have been.
Let me back up, because Duty is running for Grand South, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Billings is running for
Grand Secretary. Though I wasn't going to name any names, because I don't want anybody to think we're politicking, because we're not.
No, I'm just but speaking
right,
facts,
you're just
asking
making sure it's clear.
I'm just clarifying, because I was thinking for some reason Duty was running for Secretary. I was like, wait a second, he was already Secretary. So yeah, I just need to clarify.
And he did such a good job. That's the thing, is that what he did, taking over for Laser. I mean, he really bumped us up into the next generation, into today's world. Now we're in today's world. Now we just have to utilize all that's available to us to
We got to stay on top of it.
improve our efficiency and effectiveness in management of our Grand Lodge.
Yeah.
And it's our Grand Lodge. It's not just the people that are up there. It's our Grand Lodge. We're the Grand West.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to remember. And it's not that, we're trying to be defiant against anybody or anything like that. It's a matter of it's our Grand West, and we should be making the choices and not just one or two people.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And somehow we've got all these laws that prevent us from being able to do that.
Yeah. It's kind of a prohibition against free speech.
Oh my gosh, talk about prohibition.
Charles Smith is
Can't
here.
wait.
Good evening, brothers. I
Hey,
hope y'all
Charles.
have had a good weekend. We had a great weekend, Charles. We
Absolutely.
well,
Charles.
I did. We took my kids out for a Thanksgiving event and an Easter event yesterday, and all the tornadoes kind of parted around us today, so we didn't have to deal with any of that nasty weather. So it's been a good weekend.
In that note, I'd like to give a shout out to our brothers up in Arkansas who just went through some serious tornadoes that really hurt the area. And fortunately, from what I understand, their homes are okay, but everything around them is torn up, so they're without water and power and stuff like that. So, send your prayers to those brothers.
Yeah.
Send your prayers to those brothers because they need it. They need it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, tornadoes can be... I still remember Joplin and all that. I mean, it could... You don't know. It could be a little skinny tornado, or it could be a couple miles wide, just bulldozing its way through. You never know.
And it doesn't even matter. I've actually went through Hurricane Harvey. I was in my 108-year-old house. Now it's about 115 years old. Or 112. I was in my 100-year-old house listening to the creaks and cracks all night long with the 110-mile-an-hour winds of the hurricane, just cringing that it was fixing to come down on top of me.
Man.
But I knew it was there. And what was crazy is when I finally got tired of it and decided to go take shelter where I knew I could do that. I won't say where because I'd get in trouble. But when I went to that building, I went in 110-mile-an-hour winds and made it. When a tornado comes down, you don't have time to think about it. It's down, and it's destructing, and it's hurting people.
It's down and gone before you have time to really react.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to drive through it, period. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a dust devil, one of the Texas tornadoes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so have you ever tried to drive through one, or have you driven through one? It's pretty crazy because your whole truck or car goes, whoa.
I think I've been in one.
That's not even a hard one.
Like I think I was out in the field and one came up on me, but it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe in South Texas they're a little bit stronger than they are here, but.
Well, I went through them up in Dallas, up in near Arlington, and where they're doing construction and stuff. You'd see them just spout up and.
Well, everything has different strengths, right?
Yeah.
So,
but
go ahead.
Serious business, so brothers, take care of yourselves.
Absolutely,
Seriously.
absolutely.
We need you around.
And be sure your lodge building is insured. That way,
yes.
That way, if a tornado comes and demolishes your building, and you don't have any funds to replace it,
which most
you have at least insurance on it.
Don't.
Most do not.
You know what's funny? What's funny is that I was just explaining to some brothers that came for the Phantom Memorial, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, the one that we actually do with the reenactment and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some brothers came in and I was explaining to them because we have 2 dates on our building, and one is the original build date, and the other one is the date that they rebuilt after the tornado of 1902 came through and tore the roof off. And not only did they rebuild the original structure, but they added on a whole second half that includes our dining area and our upstairs foyer, our library area. So, and they didn't have insurance back then. They were just some brothers that got things done.
They came together and rebuilt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Not only that, but they built the rest of the city back up.
There's a lodge in my district, my district construction district. Just barely in the district. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But you go and visit, and they have an altar in their dining room. And if you ask the story, that altar belonged in the old lodge building, which was more downtown, I guess. And 50, 60 years ago, a tornado came through town, demolished downtown, and demolished the lodge. And the only thing left standing was that altar where it was originally. And so they always kept that altar as part of a memento of that old building.
Talk about a blessing, man. Yeah, keep that right there with you.
Yeah. I mean, the lodge itself is a terrible shape, but they got that altar.
But if God's not going to take something like that, I want to be right there next to it if something happens.
That's fair. That's a good point. Yep. Let's see if we got any more comments or anything.
Yeah.
It's been very quiet. Oh, Paul Griffin says greetings from Louisiana. Hello, Paul.
Hey.
What part of Louisiana are you from? I'd love to hear. There's some very interesting Masonic lodges in Louisiana that I'd like to participate with sometime.
Well, I'm working on getting a plural membership with Etoile number 1 myself.
Hey, did you get a plural membership with New Mexico?
I've got to resend the paper.
Okay. Will you send me the paperwork too?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Speaking of insurance.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and not only that, but you know, you'll have a Grandmaster signature and a Deputy Grandmaster signature on your paper.
Awesome. So we have 10 viewers.
That's pretty cool.
We got 10 viewers and 3 likes. So if you're enjoying the content, or if you enjoy any of our stuff, please be sure to drop a like. And if you're new here, please subscribe.
Yeah, that way we can actually get the word out, because our word gets expanded through y'all. It's part of the algorithm.
Yeah, and YouTube likes and engagements.
Yeah, that's what actually, pushes it out there to the other people.
Yeah.
Your like-minded circle.
Paul Hackney's here. Good evening from Sheridan, Arkansas. Did you have any tornadoes, Paul? Awesome. Did you have any of that bad weather? I hope everything's okay.
We were just talking about that. Our prayers are for the brothers in northern Arkansas.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I saw some videos of some of the tornadoes, right? And it's just never good. I mean, a hurricane, you know it's coming, right? You have time to prepare for a hurricane. Time. Yeah. Earthquakes, tornadoes. You don't really, even a tsunami will give you somewhat of a warning.
Right.
If you know what to look for, I guess.
Well, you would hear about the big wave coming, don't you think?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Paul Hackney says it was north of them. Okay, well that's good. I'm glad you were safe.
Yeah, it was up near Little Rock. So yeah, I'm glad you were safe, brother.
I don't know much about the geography of Arkansas. I mean, I've been there several times. I like the state. I just don't know much of the layout of where things are. So
Little Rock's towards the top, like the northeast.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah, my grandparents used to live in Bull Shoals. Bull Shoals? It was just,
wow.
Yeah.
That must have came from Louisiana.
My grandparents?
The people who settled that area.
Oh, I don't know.
That sounds like a Creole type.
Oh, does it?
Speaking of Northeast, I am working on trying to get us an event next year near Santa Fe. That's where the Grand Lodge of New Mexico is.
Northeast.
And it's also, Santa Fe is kind of northeast. It's just north of Albuquerque, and Albuquerque's kind of north.
Got you.
And it's just under Colorado.
I understand. I understand what you're going with now. Yeah.
But that's where the Grand Lodge is. That's also where the one of the most awesome Scottish Rite buildings in
well, let's get this summit. Let's get this summit nailed down first.
Yes. Man, we got so many good speakers. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's going. In fact, we just released earlier today
our latest
most recent one. Yeah, and Lucas, Right Marshal Lucas Minton from Arkansas, as a matter of fact. So
Yes.
definitely very excited. I released a video earlier today. Members only get a very extended version, but it's a
Yes.
great conversation. It's definitely fantastic. So I'm definitely looking
Well,
forward
yeah.
to seeing what he brings to the table when he comes.
Well, he brings it to the table already, just as a Mason and a shaker and a mover in the community, and being a part of the community, and that's, and not only that, but he does it with intention. He doesn't want people to, see him slumming it. He doesn't want, he he tries to keep his game up here while everybody else is here, and not to look down at him. He's one of the most personable men I know, but just to say, hey, this is my level. This is where I ride.
Yeah.
You want to come up here with me? Come on up.
Well, with his career, you got to be on your game all the time.
Oh yeah.
There's no
yeah.
down days. Eight limbs.
So
eight
please
limbs.
watch.
Whoever, welcome to the show. 8 limbs. He says, or she says hi. Jason Reichenberg. I hope Dennis told you I have a donation from Horny Toad Metalworks in Corpus Christi for the silent auction. You'll be a Masonic metal wall hanging. He did not tell me about that, but that sounds awesome. Please send us a picture so we can post it sometime. That sounds fantastic.
Well, I hadn't said anything because there's only 2 donations so far, and I really wanted to wait until we had a few to show at the same time.
Okay, we could do that.
That's the only reason I hadn't done it. But yeah, send us a picture for sure.
Dan Best says he's not watched the video yet, but he wants to watch it later tonight. It's great, man.
Definitely.
It's just under it's just under 20 minutes. Unless you watch the members only version, then it's an hour and a half. So you might not watch that one tonight. Let's see. Oh, he's creating it. Okay, that's great. Paul Hackney says Lucas is a great guy and an awesome Mason. He is a fantastic brother.
Thank you, Paul.
I
always love hearing reinforcement. Yeah, I always love hearing reinforcement. That just shows that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check that video out if you haven't, because what he's going to bring to the table with his conversation, his presentation about leadership. I mean, if you listen to the extended version, you get a little bit more of a taste of his experience with leadership and where the presentation is going to go. But I mean, it's going to be solid. It's going to be great. This is exactly what we need.
And he's not only is he coming, but people heard about it through him, and they're coming down too from Arkansas, and then we've got people coming over from Louisiana, and man, it's just awesome. I love seeing that kind of right. But I love seeing that kind of thing happen, because then you've got like-minded brothers coming together, and those are going to be the good conversations after the event.
Oh yeah.
When we're all sitting there on the beach just talking Freemasonry, or in the club room or whatever at the hotel, it's gonna be a good time. It really is.
Well, I mean, the conversations about how you do things in your jurisdiction are always good. They're always fun. I'm sharing a link to the Eventbrite where we're selling the tickets from. So if you haven't grabbed the ticket, just check the link at the top and be sure to grab some. The time is actually wrong. The start time is not 7 o'clock. The start time is actually probably closer to 8 o'clock. So don't let that discourage you if an hour makes a big difference in your life.
And that's not even the start time. That's just the registration start
that's
time.
registration.
And so we'll actually start at 9. So if you think you can jump in and get registered quick and get to your seat, then that's fine, as long as you're there by 9. So we're not shuffling around while we're getting started speaking.
Yep.
That's the main thing.
J.R. Robert says, howdy from Oklahoma, brothers. Well, hello, J.R. Great to have you, sir. So we got Oklahoma represented tonight, Arkansas represented, Louisiana.
Man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, this is good.
I love you, brothers, and I'm so glad that you're here. We should really be supporting each other a lot more than we do. And I know it's starting to come about with technology, right? It's such a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. But, throughout history, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for each other, right?
Yep.
So now we should really strengthen that at this point, now that we can, and it's a lot more accessible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was going to add, and I've said this before. Excuse me, one second. I've spoken to brothers that say they plan on getting tickets, and I've said this before, and I can't stress this enough. We're selling tickets every day, and we cap it. We capped it at 100 tickets, and I don't know where we're at, but we are rapidly closing in. And so if you're wanting to attend, and you're talking about buying a ticket somewhere down the road, don't wait down the road, because we're not selling them at the door, and once they're gone, they're gone. So if you're planning on coming, I strongly urge you to go ahead and click that link and get those tickets, because, like I said, we're selling them very quickly. It's very promising from our end how fast they're selling, but from your end, if you're wanting to attend,
Yeah, and we really, especially our listeners, we really don't want any of them to be left out if they want to come while he's sneezing.
Yeah.
And also that dollar amount represents not only the all the speakers and all that kind of stuff, but it also represents the dinner, the festive board. And so and I'm telling you, it's going to be a good one. It's surf and turf because we're down at the ocean, but it's beef tenderloin and scampi. It's not some cheesy,
Thank you, Charles.
what sirloin steaks or anything, those little bitty sirloin steaks you'd get at Golden Corral. This is the real deal. So it's going to be a great day and a great evening as well. And the master's degree, it's just awesome.
Oh yeah,
just awesome.
It's the Mecca. I mean, they know their work, and especially if you're coming from out of state, it's a good chance to see Texas work being exemplified.
Yes, and not only that, but in costume as well. So it's not going to be just people, in suits or whatever. They're actually going to be in costume, and so you'll get to see the different figures as it goes through and how it may have looked at the time.
While on board a World War II aircraft carrier.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. And we're gonna have pictures on the flight deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have pictures on the flight deck, and the dignitaries and people that come from out of state are going to be welcome to a private tour of the museum that's being set up by Brother Tom Wimberly. He is the man and mason that was actually responsible, or one of the biggest pushes, and still on the board of directors for the Lexington. But he was actually the reason it came to Corpus, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Dan Best.
And one of our Louisiana brothers served on it as well, and he's coming. That's going to be cool. Having two of them on at the same time on that ship. That's going to be awesome.
Dan Best, can you reword your question, because I'm not sure what you're asking. So I want to be sure I'm answering it correctly, but I'm not sure what you're asking me. Jason Rockenberg says, Dennis keeps telling me that I can only get tickets to his OnlyFans. Is that not true? You're his only fan on OnlyFans, Jason.
I don't even know what OnlyFans is.
Yeah, okay.
And here I talk technology, and I don't even know what OnlyFans is.
Yeah. Dennis is only on farmersonly.com.
Don't mistake that with Farmer Girls. Just that's funny.
Yeah. I'm waiting on see
I didn't.
See if Dan responds.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't have anything.
I didn't even know there was a Farmer Girls thing until like a couple of years ago. I heard somebody talking about there's actually an app that's kind of like those other dating apps, except it's only for farm people.
Yeah, farmersonly.com.
You
don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com.
Yeah, that's so funny. They must actually advertise in your neck.
Yeah, when I used to watch commercials, it was big. I don't watch normal TV anymore. It's Netflix or Hulu or nothing.
Well, we pick up our girls at the cattle auctions. Down in South Texas, we pick up our girls at the cattle auctions. I know. I left that way for a reason.
Yeah, I'll leave that alone.
I'm already married though, so I don't pick up any girls.
There you go.
I've got two girls, and we're doing okay.
Yeah, yeah,
We're gonna be all right,
yeah. And we got
even
14,
though they
15
want to kill
views.
me.
Okay, and I'm not gonna be a broken record about this, but we got quite a few views, and I know some people popped out. We got 9 likes, so I mean, it's definitely been helping the algorithm because we've been getting our views up in numbers. So if you're here, I definitely would appreciate a like and a subscribe. Okay, so Dan Best says, sorry about that. I was wondering if this will be the first of many events that Masonic Improvement will be happening. Well, Dan, this event will occur on September 16th. That would be a question that we can answer better on September 17th.
But the goal and plan is to have more events. But this one is our flagship,
Yep.
and so it's going to be a big decision maker. And
Yep.
we'll sit down with our speakers, all of our speakers, and talk about it and see how it went, see how they think it went, and kind of get a feel for planning the next one as well.
Yes. Ideally, yeah, we would love to expand it. I mean, frankly, if I could do it all the time, I'd do it all the time.
Yeah, if
But
I could do it full time, if we had tour dates to go around to all the states, I'd love to do that.
yeah, but one thing at a time. So we'll see
Yes.
how this goes. Uh, I want to keep expanding Masonic Improvement, keep expanding our reach because I think we're doing good things for the fraternity, and I know we are, and so I want to keep expanding that. And so, short answer, yeah, it'll be more things. Long answer, we don't know what it's going to look like yet. We're going to focus on this summit, make it the best event we can, and learn from our mistakes, grow it, improve it, and reevaluate on the 17th. J.R.
Yep.
Roberts says, I love many of the guests y'all have had on your show. Well, thank you, J.R. I appreciate that. Have you
Thank you.
considered one with brother P.D. Newman? Do you know who that is, Dennis?
Mm-mm. P.D. Newman,
P.D. Newman.
but I will write it down in my phone
P.D.,
so I
not,
can
not
remember that.
P.D. See.
Yeah, P.D. Like they used to do it in old school days. Just the first initials and the
Yeah.
last name.
If you could. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. The first link that came up from was occultofpersonality.net, so that's probably not the best one. But oh, okay.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Alchemically Stoned: The Psychedelic Secret of Freemasonry. I heard of that
That
book.
would be a good one. That would be a good one.
Well, it's also on
You
Graham
know,
Hancock's website, so let's see. I don't know.
we have
Masonic Instruction. Let's look there.
not to say who it's going to be, but we have two speakers that will be speaking um, on some esoteric and alchemical interests.
Yeah.
One of them will be, well, one of them's more of the mystery schools and how those were the leaders of the day, and the other one is going to speak a little bit more on the leaders of science of the day that were practicing alchemical, things through different organizations, and because a lot of that stuff was deported by Masons and brothers, and those people that did that kind of stuff, they got funding from other people.
So he wrote. Okay,
And-
let me just read the bio here for you real quick, Dennis.
Okay.
P.D. Newman is an internationally recognized author and lecturer specializing in the use of entheogenic compounds in magico-religious settings. A member of both the Masonic fraternity and the Society of Rosicrucians, his book Alchemically Stoned: The Psychedelic Secret of Freemasonry explores the use of powerful hallucinogenic compound DMT by a number of 18th century Masonic alchemists. He has additionally been published in a number of periodicals, including the Transactions of the Mississippi Lodge of Research, the Scottish Rite Journal, Knight Templar Magazine, Ad Lucem, The Square, Rocky Mountain Mason, Fraternal Review, Invisible College, Dragibus, Entomological Journals, etc. And in 2016, Newman was awarded for his place in the Worldwide Scottish Rite Journal Essay Contest. He sounds like he's educated.
Yes.
Um,
Very cool.
I don't know what state he's in. I have heard of that book. I'm gonna have to get a copy of it now. $21, not bad. Yeah, I may have to get a copy of that book. But yeah, I may reach out to him sometime. Once I suspect probably once we finish our lineup for the summit, we'll be looking at other guests.
Right. I mean, the main focus right now is the summit, and then who's going to be on it for sure,
Yep.
because we need to get these names out there, and so that you brothers know what you're going to be getting. I mean, right now we haven't released enough to really show you the value, but once you see the entire lineup, you're going to go, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm missing this, and then you're going to want to buy tickets, and they'll be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely quite a bit of value with just these two that we've released so far. But yeah, it's just going to keep increasing. Let's see. All right, I got too many windows open. Let's look here. Okay.
Yeah, you need to not do that.
Actually, I've upgraded my internet, and it's much smoother. I'm just getting throttled by my PC. So
Right.
the internet's great though. Dan
That's
Best
good.
says he was asking about if there'd be more events. He only asked because when he becomes a member, he'd really love to attend one of these events and meet the two of you. Well, back at you, bud.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll definitely
Yes.
have some stuff
Yes.
soon. Let's see. JR. Yeah, the rabbit hole's a doozy. Yes, it is. Charles Smith. We also hope to see y'all at the second Texas Outdoor Order of the Temple near Lubbock at Camp Post near the end of September. Exact date to be announced. Man, September's gonna be
Okay.
busy. I'll be
Yes,
going
it
to
will.
Waco. And
Waco
then
on the 2nd.
on the 2nd,
September 2nd.
and then the week after. Is it the week after? No, 2 weeks after will be the summit, and
Yeah,
then
but I'll be started a week after getting it ready.
then driving
sure.
to and then driving to Lubbock because I don't want to miss that. That was a pretty cool event. And Hillsboro has confirmed.
Yeah, I would love to.
We've had so many new nights made at Hillsboro just this year, probably about 9. I'd really like to take them to Lubbock and let them see like the spiel, the big deal, whatever you gonna call it. 'cause
Yeah,
it looked awesome in
there's a bunch
pictures.
of new ones. There's a bunch of new ones from Seguin also. They made 11
Oh wow,
last month.
that's good,
11 in one sitting. Yes.
man.
Yes.
Did I say 9? I meant we did 12.
Oh, did I say 11? I meant 13.
I meant
I get those odd numbers wrong.
I meant 13 and a half. One was really short. No big deal.
No big deal. That's funny.
Charles Smith says it was amazing last year, and this year should be even better. Yeah, the pictures looked phenomenal. Like it looked like something worth the trip. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely
I can't
endeavor the best I can to be there. September's an odd month
And
because that's kind of when I'm starting back at school. But
And for those brothers that are on now listening to the live, I mean that don't know what happened. It was they did all the York Rite degrees out in the country under the stars, and you know, just talking to the brothers and hearing about it and seeing some of the pictures, golly, I am so disappointed that I missed it. But last year we were working with Grand Lodge with the officer leadership training on the education committee, and so we were tied up doing that and weren't able to go.
it's not a problem this year.
But this year it's not quite the same.
Yeah. So definitely make an endeavor to be there for that.
Yes. Pilgrimage. Make a pilgrimage.
Yep.
Yes. And I'll make sure that a few brothers come with me so that we have a good time.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna load up all the new guys. Take them. All the new guys at Hillsboro. Watching from Idaho. Celera says watching from Idaho. Welcome, Celera.
Very cool.
I was stationed at Mountain Home Air Force Base for several years. Nothing out there. Nothing at all. If you wanted to do anything, you had to drive an hour to Boise, and nothing to do in Boise either.
That's kind of like it was going to Roswell. You know, when I was going out there, it's like, my goodness, when am I gonna get there?
Yeah.
I drove through so many ghost towns on the way, and they were literal ghost towns. You could tell. And I mean, there wasn't a store, there wasn't gas, there wasn't anything. Just to get to Roswell, and then of course it's a pretty big place. But then driving out, same thing. It's just out there in its own little island.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people like that kind of thing. I mean, I had a Jeep, so at least I had something to do because, I mean, there was. You don't have to worry about running into trees or anything. I actually originally had orders to go to Cannon Air Force Base, and I had been through New Mexico. I was like, man, New Mexico is not the. There's not kind of like what you're describing, right? Like
There's a lot of sand.
there's a lot of sand. I was like,
That's
I don't
all
know that
you
that's
see.
where I want to be. And I had gone through Idaho before, the north part of Idaho, which is beautiful. It looks like Yellowstone. And I just assumed that everything in the state looked pretty much the same. No, 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 not at all.
Sucker.
Sucker, yep.
That's how they get you in the army, man. They show you all the beautiful pictures, and then and the Air Force in the military, they show you all the beautiful pictures, and then ship you off somewhere where you can't be seen or heard.
Yep,
From what I hear.
yep. Hold on, let me tap this real quick. You can talk.
I'm so glad that Oklahoma came on, and Idaho, and Arkansas, and Louisiana. I mean, this is so cool. And to be honest with you, I've been thinking about making a call to Oklahoma and seeing if one of the members up there would like to come down and speak at our summit as well. Oklahoma's doing such good things up there.
Are we getting a little tight?
We are. We have some big speakers with just this much time.
Yeah.
So really, I would probably want to do that next time. But but man, they're doing such great things in Oklahoma. They really are, and people ought to take notice because they've got some of the best education going on, and they have been for quite a while.
Let's see.
That's
Jason Rockenberg says, out of those 11 new Knights in Seguin, we had 5 of them show up for the chapter and council meeting. We had the highest attendance at that meeting in over 10 years. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear y'all doing good things. Celarez says
that is very good.
That they were stationed at Holloman. Where's Holloman at? Let me look here.
Oh, I had a brother just buy a case from me Saturday, Brother Holloman.
Holloman Air Force Base. Where is that? Let's see. Oh, in New Mexico. Okay. They're near Alamogordo. See, I was almost stationed in Cannon. And at the time, granted, this has been almost 20 years now, it was supposed to be closing down. Joe bought about 10 years ago, and it looked abandoned, but it was still functioning. So I don't know that it's just... I think it's just a dump out there.
We have an airport here in Goliad that was it was manned by the Air Force for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Or I think it was the Navy.
So it's,
but yeah, it's still out there.
There is a there's a used to be a town nearby between here and Rio Vista where Knoll River Lodge is, and it was larger than it is now, but it had an air base on it, and it wasn't a full air base. Apparently before they had planes that could travel as far as they do now, they had to have these intermittent,
more regional.
Yeah, like refueling stations. So it was more of a refueling station, but it kind of fed the local economy until they closed it down, and now it's just a cornfield. But there was also an air base in another local town. It was Nike Air Force Base, and when they closed it down, everything remained. And last time I was out there, I was a kid. But a church had bought the land or something, so you go driving on to a church and you pass through a guard shack and it had barbed wire fences. I mean, sounds funny. A little culty, but yeah.
Yeah, but we have like 600 acres out there not taken that's surrounded by big tall fences with barbed wire that nobody goes into.
Yeah,
I want to sneak in one day.
Let's see, Jason. Let's see. Yeah. Robert G. Davis is the brother from Oklahoma. You want to speak down there.
Yes. Yes.
You want you they are blessed. Do you know Robert?
I've actually talked to him online, but I don't know him.
He comes
And
highly recommended.
I've seen some videos from the talks that he's done, and man, good stuff.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Charles Smith says, "I'm surprised you weren't at Reese in Lubbock unless it was already closed down. I think it was probably already closed down. So I did finance, and I paid people for travel. I'm not as familiar as I used to be, but I used to pretty much know where all the air bases were, at least continentally. And I mean, we had Shepherd, and we had um, the basic training one, Fort no Lackland Air Base, but I don't think Reese was on the map at the time, so it was probably already closed down. Just a little trivia. Are you there, Dennis?
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm just
you weren't-
listening.
You weren't talking, so I was
Do we have any
concerned.
other questions from any brothers? I mean,
It's
that's
been I mean lots of conversation, lots of newcomers tonight, but not a whole lot
nice.
of questions. So, but yeah, if anyone has questions, don't hesitate to. Wait a second, I
So,
can click and see participants. What?
but what?
Oh, that's
So, brothers, just so that y'all know, before y'all jumped on, before some of y'all jumped on, Justin and I were talking a little bit about um, we hear so often right now, especially with the divided climate in Freemasonry, we hear so often, just be patient, just wait out the storm, this and that, and it's like, my opinion is the storm was created by other people in positions that they shouldn't be creating those storms.
mm-hmm.
And so I'm not gonna shut up. I'm gonna say it's not okay. It's not okay to be that way.
Yeah,
I was a poet and didn't even know it. But
yeah.
it's just not okay to conspire to
I mean, you could say
for the detriment of the fraternity.
you could say that both sides are just people trying to do what's best for the fraternity, and that may be true.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it though. Let me shut this window. I got train.
But that doesn't mean that the way that it's being done is okay.
I agree, and that's the thing.
You,
Like the way,
that's the problem.
but it's all has come about is not okay, and I mean, like we said earlier, like it was premeditated. We knew this,
Right.
and it's not a assumption, right? It's not a jump to conclusions. It was discussed before Grand Lodge. Like before anyone even got to Waco, people were saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what the hubbub is, and this
Right.
is how it's going to go down." And usually, when there's rumors like that, it doesn't either never happens or it never goes down like it's supposed to, right?
If it's rumors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's usually just rumors, but it went down exactly to the T how it was explained that it was going to go, right?
I wasn't there 5 minutes before I was bombarded with people asking me, "Hey, is this really going to happen?"
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
And there were other people from other grand jurisdictions that heard the same thing coming in to visit our Grand Lodge, and they hear that. They didn't even stay for that
Yeah, I was gonna say we
because
got
of that.
brothers from other grand jurisdictions that I'll just say it. They told us that they were gonna leave because they didn't want to be a part of it. They knew it was happening and they didn't want to be there for it.
Yeah, that's just a shame.
Yeah,
Just a shame.
I mean, for them to have already heard about it, so you can't say it was a spur of the moment. It was premeditated. Though. Let's just be honest with
And,
ourselves. Charles
and I'm going to
Smith
say,
says
go
we
ahead.
can still maintain peace and harmony and demand answers for the events that happened. Why it happened in a public forum, they are not mutually exclusive. I agree. I agree. We can maintain peace and harmony and demand answers. But this idea of but I guess what the what we're talking about is those that want to maintain peace and harmony, but they're afraid to demand answers because they're afraid of what it will do to peace and harmony.
Right. Well, and they're afraid that what might happen to them.
Yeah.
That you shouldn't feel that way. We are free thinkers. We are Freemasons. We are not the military. We are not follow your command.
Yeah.
We're free thinkers. That's what we're built on.
There's like a saying,
So,
I don't remember. I haven't heard it in so long. I can't remember who said it. But those that would give up liberty for safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
right,
And that's kind of the same thing.
right,
Like if you're afraid to exercise your liberty to speak your mind as a master mason and a member of the Grand West. I mean, what are we if we can't speak our minds? What are we if we
right.
can't voice our concerns? We're just told
Why
what
are,
to
why are
do.
we not? Yeah, why are we not available, or why are not we not able to? And this is my point, Brother Smith, and I know that you probably feel the same. Um, but peace and harmony is not an end result. Peace and harmony is how you approach your brother, and how you already come to him one, with the thought that you're going to accept what he has to say,
Yeah,
and not necessarily agree, but accept it, discuss it, debate it even, and walk away still brothers,
yeah,
loving each other and being stronger for it. That's peace and harmony.
yeah.
It's not an end result
But if
because
you're
everybody
afraid
shuts up.
to exercise your liberty because of a loss of safety, right? Because I mean, it's let's be honest, in the current Masonic context, in the current Masonic environment, this is a dangerous conversation right now, right?
Right,
And
right.
if you're unwilling to have that conversation because it takes you out of your safe place because you're afraid you're going to get hicked out, then
That's not okay.
it's not okay. It's not okay.
Nobody should feel that
And
way.
things will never get better. I mean, it's the safe thing is just for us all just to shut up and just let it all happen, let it all blow over and keep our mouth shut. I mean, at the end of the day, everything will go downhill. I mean, we've lost our ability to democratically elect our leadership in our organization, but we're still members. So, I mean, I guess if that means so much to you that even though you're riding the ship as it sinks, then go for that. But I don't know.
Well, and
I think
I've said
I hold us to a higher standard than that.
yes, and I've stated on many occasions that my great great grandfather rode over the Red River with Sam Houston, and then rode down to South
Barefoot
Texas to get the
uphill
charter.
both ways in the snow.
Will you stop it? And I will be damned if I'm going to sit by and let a fraternity that he worked so hard to build in this state with Sam Houston be pissed on by other people.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it. And if I lose my membership because of it, then I'm better for it. I shouldn't, because that's not how we should be operating. We should be able to discuss these things, and I'm not talking about particulars. We shouldn't go into detail on this stuff and air our dirty laundry online or in Facebook or whatever, but we should be able to converse and talk face to face about these issues without somebody, a stronghold in our district telling us to shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've lost friends. I've lost brothers because of this. Because I'm not going to shut up.
Yeah. I mean, as far as systems of governments go, a government that doesn't allow you to speak freely and tells you will be quiet or you will be terminated,
That sounds like China.
I mean, it's definitely not a the kind of government I want to be a part of.
Right.
And when you have an organization running like that, it's not much better.
Right.
The quote was apparently from Benjamin Franklin. Thank you, Charles Smith. I couldn't remember who it was. I thought it was the founding father.
A great Mason.
Zach Smith is here. Good evening, Zach. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Zach.
Jake Long is here. Welcome, Jake. Appreciate you hopping on too. 16 views, pretty good tonight.
But what I love is that even though, there's all this distress, there's still good Freemasonry going on, despite the hardships, right? And I think that's what some of the members are getting at, is that, hey, just focus on the your lodge and focus on this and that. And yeah, as general members, maybe, sure.
Yeah.
But as officers in your lodge, you should be concerned.
Yeah.
Because you're the leaders in your lodge.
And I'm not obstinate. I'm not saying, throw the baby out with the bathwater, because I do think there's some good ideas this year. Definitely a emphasis on MWSAs and things like that. That's a good thing for your district. I think more districts should have MWSAs. I think you could do a lot of good in your district with the MWSA. And so
I think it's tough because we have so many districts that we already visit everybody's lodge.
Yeah, but if you here's my thought. I think a great MWSA focuses on education, right? And you could have a presenter come to one lodge and ask everybody to come, but they're probably not going to touch a whole lot of people. But if you have an MWSA and you have good turnouts, and you have education focus on your MWSA, that's going to touch a lot of lodges at once. Just my thoughts. Zach Smith has gifted 1 Masonic Improvement membership. Thank you, Zach Smith. We definitely appreciate you, just everything you do, man. Just everything. If you're listening, if you're on the chat, and if you're interested in a gifted membership, which I strongly encourage you to not hesitate if you'd like it, check the in the green box where it says there's a gifted membership. If you click those 3 dots in the right hand corner on the top right, there should be an option to enable gifts. And if you click that, then good possibility that will go to you. And so, especially if you have been listening for a while, if you enjoy our content, you'll definitely enjoy the membership, because there is a whole lot of content behind the members only section. So,
well, not only that, but we have regular meetings with just our inner circle.
Yeah, we did that earlier this week.
That's what. Yes, and that was a cool conversation. I was really excited that Brother Smith came in and was a part of that as well, because he does keep a more peaceful tone to things. It's not that he's passive, but he's more about the focusing on the brother in the brotherhood, and I think that I need that sometimes.
Yeah,
he brought that element for sure.
He's down there,
and I'm
easy to talk to. I'm just excited because every time we've only done it twice, but every time we have members only, the membership increases. It seems like there's more attending each time.
So that's for any of you brothers or non brothers that are considering, or like the content, then grab up that free membership, because then you can join in on those talks that are just us, and we don't air those either. Those are just between us.
Yeah, they stay in the members only section. So the members can go back and watch it, but it never leads the membership circle.
Yes.
Charles Smith says we need an MWSA in our area because it's tight fit, so something like that would hopefully really take off.
Yeah, y'all are getting big. Y'all are getting big up there. You probably do need one.
Yeah. Let's see. Zach says paying his tax or having to deal with him in the members only. Man, we're glad to have you there. We're glad to have you there. Oh, Celera.
Yes.
Celera accepted. Well, glad to have you, Celera. For sure.
Very cool. Very cool.
No, Zach coming to the he it's easy to forget he's not a Mason yet. Just in our conversations, if that makes sense. Like he carries himself.
I know we have to watch him.
Yeah.
And we do. We don't divulge any secrets or anything because we are a public broadcast.
Yeah.
But we do love it that he's on point with a lot of what we talk about.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's really cool.
Most
really
definitely.
cool.
By the way,
and great insight from a young man. Isn't that cool?
By the way, let me pull this up real quick. Have you, Dennis, have you been invited to the Gentleman's Brotherhood?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I haven't talked to Juan yet. I've been meaning to talk to Juan. Juan Sepulveda. Do you remember him from
Right?
the Winding Stairs?
Winding
He
stairs, yeah.
he is creating. I don't know if it's going to be a podcast or what, but he has launched the Gentleman's Brotherhood, and I got invited to it. I haven't spent much time looking at it, but from what I see, and this is what really interests me, it looks like okay. All right, I'll just read the about for the website, for the
Okay.
Facebook page. Exclusive group of men who want to reach their highest potential as men and gentlemen. Join us and engage in great conversations with like-minded men who believe that men should be both courteous and courageous. Do you want to be a better man, a more loving husband, a more caring father, a more effective leader? Then this group is for you. Discover what it means to be a gentleman in the 21st century. Join us today. And he's already got LLC, Gentleman's Brotherhood LLC. Um, I find it interesting, and I don't think that there's been any, like, I want to be clear. I'm not suggesting he's taking your idea, but what I am saying is I think it's interesting that he reached the same conclusion as we have.
Yes.
It seems to be, hey, we could do a lot good with Freemasonry, but for men in general, we also need to be able to step up and provide more value.
Right.
And
Right.
that looks like what he's doing is just he's taking a different approach
Right.
instead of doing it
Well,
through
a lot of what.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just gonna say we were doing it through the Masonic context, and he's doing something
Right.
completely separate.
Right. Well, a lot of what we learn in Freemasonry, if we really take all of the lessons available to us to heart, is we should be learning proper business etiquette, proper debate etiquette. Um, we have we utilize it's not Robert's laws. We have our very own for Texas Freemasonry um, for parliamentary procedure. And, these different things that we learn through Freemasonry, they help us in being the leaders of the community because we know how to run a meeting. And we know when it's a shit show when we go in and it's not supposed to be. And we know how to fix that if we need to.
Yeah.
And, we know how to work within a volunteer society, which is what your local bodies usually are, is volunteer systems, especially in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's all volunteer. So you know how to maneuver within the volunteer structure.
Well, we say we take good men and make them better, and usually we're like, hey, we need to like talk about these 28th degree Scottish Rite symbols and extrapolate the meaning from them, or hey, let's dive into astronomy and how that applies to everyday life, or so on and so forth. But you got some brothers that just don't know how to tie a tie, right? And so it's important to have these lofty education that polishes what you've learned. But for some people, you got to meet them down here, right? And I think that might be what runs some people off is that well, first of all, either there's no education, or we're trying to educate people up here, but we don't have anything intermediary to meet them where they are.
Right.
So,
Sorry, I have a side conversation going also.
oh, it's fine. Let's see.
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. Charles Smith says Yazdick fits in well, and Oscar says he just needs to move to Texas. So, one of us. Yeah, definitely. Just stay away from South Texas. Stay away from San Antonio and Austin.
I can't help it that we're the best at what we do. I just can't help it.
The best in South Texas.
You guys live on ponchos through Mexican food, and we have real Mexican food down here. So don't even start.
There's no ponchos around here. And Ponchos has been shut down for a long time.
I miss ponchos. I grew up on it when I lived up in Dallas. 'Cause
Oh, listen to you flip flopping. There used to be one of bros that we went to all the time, but no, we got
sour cream enchiladas, man. Those were great.
we got
Those
real
were my
Mexican
favorite.
food. I assure you, we got real Mexican food, and it's usually the
Well, I know
sketchiest
that's
looking
because that's
places.
where the immigrants don't stick around here because they'll get caught here. They go up there.
I know.
I'm
No, I
sorry.
mean
I'm just saying. That's the
no. I mean
truth.
it's
I
factual.
know for a fact. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know for a fact. Some
Cleburne
friends of mine have actually done that.
Cleburne has a huge Hispanic population, but
Yeah.
it means the food's good, so
Yeah.
they know how to make it. Um,
Well, and Goliad is the birthplace of Texas cattle country.
oh, okay, got you.
At least that's what they say.
That's what you say.
That's what they say. Not me.
They
They.
being you. Zach, yeah,
When
Zach.
you do
I was gonna ask you about the
when
fish
you
fry.
do
Zach missed the fish fry. I was gonna ask him how that went though. But yeah,
oh man, Zach,
he was
I
working late, man.
I thought you could remotely work. You mean you can't do it on your phone? Come on.
Oh man,
What type of techie are you? Come on. I'm just messing with you.
man. Yeah, Charles Smith
But
says he misses ponchos too.
I'm going to tell you what backs up this is cattle country is that we have a raffle that goes on down here not from the lodge that makes you an instant rancher. You immediately win like 30 head of cattle for a $50 ticket.
Oh wow.
Yes. And even our very first raffle, our very first fundraiser for our lodge, I had to put it on. And it was a brother that we don't talk a whole lot now because we're kind of split right now on it because of the current, situation. But he and I did it together to where we donated a calf and a freezer and a smoker. It was made by a brother as well, and we donated that and had our very first raffle, and that's how we roll down here. We give away cows, man.
Man, a raffle for cows. So if two people won first place for the raffle, do you think they'd have beef with each other?
Oh my God, I knew you'd come up with something. Only you, man. Only you.
Uh,
I hope all of y'all are. I'm just throwing.
they're probably all saying,
I just
"Holy
swallowed
cow!"
my. You can tell he spends too much time with his kids.
Yeah,
He has to say those things to keep them calm.
yeah. Yep. I had a dairy cow and I accidentally dropped a brick on their hoof. It's a good thing they lactose. They lactose.
Okay, now it's just a wah wah.
Okay.
Bring out the trombone,
Yeah.
please. Please
That's all I
save me.
got. That's all I
Ask
got.
him a question so he'll stop.
I'm spent. I'll steer clear of my puns. Anyway, that's what people come here for, is for the puns, man.
I know it. It's all about you.
They don't
For
want
sure.
none unless you got puns. Paul Griffith, yeah. So yeah, I don't really have. It's a new month now, so stated meetings are starting around again. I got my stated meeting at Hillsboro tomorrow, and then stated meeting at Grandview on Tuesday, and then next week is my York ride, and we're having some brothers come talk to us about the possibility of having regular schools of instruction at Hillsboro for York ride, since we got so
Very
many
cool.
new members and we want to start learning things. So
Yeah.
Jim Manley's coming, and I can't remember who else. So it'll be good. It's gonna be good.
We're planning that for York Rite as well, and we already do it for Scottish Rite. If the education members, the members of the education committee, if any lodge wants one of us to come in, and we don't even have to talk about just the Scottish Rite or whatever, just give a presentation, then we'll go in and give a presentation and to any lodge in our area. I've got some I'm going to go down to in the coastal Bend area pretty soon because we're re-kickstarting the revamping the Coastal Bend Scottish Rite Club. And of all things, they made me president.
Oh yikes! They must be in bad shape.
I am not a criminal.
Gosh, they must
That
be
was bad.
desperate for
That was
leadership.
in bad taste. Poor taste.
Man. So yeah, I don't got a whole lot more unless you just got something on your mind. Not many questions tonight. So let's
Well,
see.
one of the talks I'm going to be giving, I'm working on it right now, is is another leadership talk about John Freeman, John Hillier Freeman, John Freeman Hillier. He's he was a brother of one of the charter members of my lodge, and he also started the Baptist church here in town. But he came to us um, as a preacher, but back then they didn't make money. It was against the rules for preachers to make money,
Mm.
so they had to do different jobs. So he started the women's college, and he taught women and African Americans um, in that college. And a few years after, they decided that they wanted to make it a all male college, and so he moved on and went to Gonzales and did the same thing. And then he went from there to teach at Baylor University. I mean, talk about a leader. Talk about a traveling.
Man, that's a heck of a move too, from Gonzales to
Yeah, he
Waco.
had a purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
how
had a
we.
purpose.
That's how
And
men used to be, dude. Like we created things.
well, yeah, and we've got a Grand Master buried in our cemetery here in Goliad that was not from Goliad. He was just passing through, and he passed away. And so we gave him Masonic rites and a Masonic funeral in Goliad and buried him right there
Man,
because he was a traveling man, you know. And back then, that wasn't easy.
no, no. That I mean, there is. Let me think. So the old town I used to live in was about 20 minutes from Hillsboro, and in between, right, kind of right in between Hillsboro and Whitney was a small town, and I went to the area museum and was reading about the small community is called Peoria, and there are accounts like, so we're talking like a 10-minute travel one way or the other, right? So about 10 miles or so, right? Before highways and roads, it would take these people 2 or 3 days to traverse that distance with their wagons and everything. I mean, that's really why I think like all these old ghost towns used to have lodges, is because it sure they're close together and like we can get there in 5 minutes, but at the time it was a
Yeah, it was a
day.
big
It
deal.
took a long time to get there, so it made sense for them to have lodges. But then once we came in and paved the roads and leveled them out and made it where you could just drive in a straight line from one point to
And
another
had lights
and
with
had lights,
electricity
yeah,
because they seriously, and we have one pretty close to us, they seriously had moonlight lodges. They came in the middle of the night, by, well, not in the middle of the night, but they came by moonlight. It was always on the full moon so they could see.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was hard. So I couldn't imagine. And like if you're in a town like Goliad or even the smaller towns around us that are in our county, you know, you have 5 or 6 people that share 1,200 acres. Could you imagine riding a horse from one end of 1,200 acres to the other end in an evening to go to lodge
Yeah,
and then go back? Talk about work. That's that's the real deal there. That talk about cowboy up. I bet you Ricky Cox would love to talk about that because he's all about cowboy up, and he and I bet you he could give a good presentation on something like that.
I agree. Dan Bess asks, how could he go about presenting a book of faith to his local lodge? He has 11 months before he can petition. I reach out however you reached out to him before, and just tell him like, hey, I have a book of faith I'd like to use for my initiation. How do you think the best way would be to approach this?
Implement that.
To implement that, should you hang on to it till installation? You want to just go ahead and give it to you? I mean, just reach out to them and ask.
Yeah, usually it wouldn't matter as long as it's an actual book of faith. It can be looked up on the internet and verified pretty easily. So I don't think you would need to take it to them sooner or anything like that. I don't know that they might be interested in reading it, but
I would. I mean,
the main thing is getting it. He's got a contact with the secretary
my thing is
helping him also.
They've already been caught off guard, right? So I would try to get to them, but well before, so that it's
not the day of, but at least let them know that you have one available so that it can be done, properly.
I got you. Yeah.
I mean, there's some lodges that actually keep those books in their lodge, in their library, because for that reason, in case somebody comes in and they just happen to be Muslim or Nordic or whatever the faith is, then they have the book of faith there just in case. And it's not that it takes the place of the Great Light in Masonry, but it's there for the important parts of the journey.
Jake Log says, I kind of envy the people that lived back then. Everything they were forced to do must have made life quite invigorating. I think it was a trade-off, right? I mean, there's still a world to explore, right?
Man, I like my showers.
There's still a lot of unknowns. Yeah, I mean, I like my showers. I like air conditioning. I can't imagine who on earth thought this would be a great place to settle without air conditioning. Right? Especially
but they were used to it.
Yeah, I guess. If you ever watch like old 60s and 70s movies, like before they had air conditioning, like they're sweating nonstop. Like, that doesn't look good. But
man, that's funny because I wear long sleeve shirts to work outside because I don't want the sun hitting me. I wear dark long sleeve shirts to protect myself.
Yeah.
And that's how they used to do it. You get acclimated to it by the middle of the summer. You're about used to it.
Yeah. But even like modern medicine and clean water and electricity, I mean, I have no doubts there'll be a point. So you envy the people back then, but there'll probably be a point where we're back at square one at some time. And we talked about this a little bit last time. Was it our members only, or was it our last live?
I can't remember.
Yeah, so Zach says we live in an easy mode society, but it gives us the opportunity to really double down on something great rather than just working to survive. Yeah, I agree. But I'll also go back to the it's become pretty famous in recent times with the saying, hard times create strong men create easy times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, right? So you pretty much just said it yourself, but where are we at in that? We live in an easy time.
Of life.
We live in an easy time right now, and it's making us all soft and fat, which is why, like we were talking about, why what we're doing now is so important. But you don't have to look far. I mean, watch the news, get on TikTok. You see the soft men, you see the weak men, and they're the ones that are going to create hard times for us. You could say we're probably already there, but I don't want to get to politics.
I don't think we're there. I don't think we're there.
We're I'm not saying we're like there, but we're on the cusp, I think.
Yeah. Well, I got my guns. I'm not going to stock up on water.
Charles Smith says, we haven't had a Muslim brother in our lodge for 12 years at least, but we still have a Quran that we bought for some brothers in case they come to visit, or we have a new brother.
Nice. And that's the way it should be.
I agree.
That's the way it should be. And it doesn't matter where you live. That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right on, brother.
Nice. Well, it's almost 10:30. We started a little early tonight just because my kids went to sleep early, so I seized the opportunity. So, Dennis, you got anything else in your mind before we wrap up for the night? Nothing. Okay, great. So, no, I'm just kidding.
In Go ahead, because I'm thinking I've got something to say. I just want to formulate it right so I don't go Yoda on you.
Yeah. So I'll say a few things. First of all, Zach Smith, thank you for gifting the membership, and
Yes.
welcome to our new member. And if you're not a member, hold on a second. I got this cough this evening. If you're not a member, consider joining, becoming a member. You get access to all of the exclusive content, ad-free goodness. If you like what you're watching, if you like what we make, if you like the content, there's more. There's more. The stuff that doesn't make the cut for the free content is there for the exclusive content, and it's all
The inner
ad-free.
circle.
Yeah. Also, other than that, and I'll say this again, if you're thinking about joining and coming to the Masonic Improvement Summit, the Build a Better Brotherhood Summit, September 16th, you need to buy a ticket. You need to buy it now, tonight, now. I got the link posted at the top of the chat. Tickets are selling fast, and that's why I'm creating that sense of urgency, because I would hate. Some people are going to get left out regardless, right? But
Right.
some of you have been attending regularly to the chats and participate in comments and on Facebook, and you say you're going to buy tickets, and I don't want you to miss out. I don't want people that are actively engaging with us on a regular basis to miss out on a ticket. So if you're thinking about doing it, if you're planning on coming, be sure to buy that ticket ASAP.
And this is not for all you out of town brothers. This is not just an event for men. The actual speaking and all that, and the festive board, of course, that's all Master Mason only.
Yep.
But and of course the master's degree on the Lexington.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down. But we're encouraging people to bring their family, or at least bring their wife, and make a day of it, because or a weekend of it, because we are going to have a bunch of wives and kids on the beach, because the hotel's right there on the beach.
Yep.
And you don't have to buy the upper tier room with the bay view and all that kind of stuff. They have some with our discounts. You'll get a room. I think it's like close to $145 for a room on the beach. You know, it may not be the bay view, but you're still on the beach, so it's affordable. You know, I hardly go anywhere that I don't spend more than $145 on a hotel.
Zach Smith wants to know if there's any Zoom interviews this week. I think we're waiting to see about Wednesday, right? Are we waiting to see if we get someone lined up or not?
Do what?
Do we have anyone lined up for Wednesday for interview?
Oh, I need to reach out to him. I think that he's going to be able to. I think I already asked him, but I haven't confirmed lately. Yes, the next presenter should be interviewed on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. So once I have a presenter, we have a presenter tied down. We'll do like we did previously, where we have the guests come on, and so I'll share that information as early as I can, like I did the time before. Just as soon as we find out, get a date pinned down.
Yeah, and that's another thing that the brothers get to, or the members get to do, is they get to be on the interview with us, with our guest speakers, and ask questions afterwards if they have any questions. And it's not, just about the event or whatever. It's just about Freemason and different topics. Not just, we're not talking about secrets or anything like that, but we're talking, things that can be applied to your regular life. I mean, ask Zach. I mean, he shows up every time because of that very fact, even though he's not a Mason yet.
Yeah.
And so
we have some good conversations.
Yeah, we always do. The other thing I was going to say is that this hotel is right on the beach. All the ladies and kids are going to be able to play. The aquarium's 2 blocks away, and it's also 1 block from Lexington. So we've got we'll be able to come in and visit with our family for a few minutes, and then walk over to the Lexington, and then walk back to the hotel. It's that close. And I'm also looking at reserving a indoor dining for the ladies to go to while we're at the Lexington. Now, it won't be part of our fee, because I've just set this up. our fee includes the events and the festive board and the meals, stuff like that. The but we'll be able, if the ladies want to, they can walk with us over to the Lexington, and we can leave them at their to eat the fresh catch of the day from the ocean, and while we go and do our master's degree and take our pictures up on the deck of the aircraft carrier and all that kind of good stuff. It's really going to be cool, and it's not just for us. That's what I'm trying to get across. I'm talking in circles about it, but I'm so excited. It really is the kind of event I would love to attend myself.
I've got good news for you, Dennis. I think you'll be there.
I get to listen. Woohoo! I hope I'm not too busy running around trying to make sure everybody's happy.
Yep.
I hope I get to sit and listen a little bit.
But with that said,
let me give my closing thing now. With that said,
keep between the points,
brothers. We talk about a little bit of controversial stuff sometimes. We don't like to take deep dives into it because we don't want anybody to. I mean, we double down sometimes, but we're not chastising anybody on the show. We're not beyond the discussion. That's what this is all about, is discussing these things. Not just our opinions. We give our opinions, but it's really a discussion between all of us, right?
If you can't discuss, then it's not. I'll be honest.
Yes.
If you can't discuss, it's not Masonic.
And people, and for our listeners that are not Masons, we live by this code of peace and harmony prevailing. Well, peace and harmony is not the end result. It's how you approach your fellow man in your conversations, in your debate, in your discussion, in your everyday life, thinking that their thoughts are for the good of the same goal, right? So with that, you may not agree with it, and that's okay. But with that, you can discuss, debate, just go at it. Not like you see on CNN and Fox, but you can go at it and talk about these things and walk away as peaceful citizens, brothers, friends, whatever. That's what it's all about, is being able to have the hard discussions. We are able to have those hard discussions because we follow the tenets, not because we're supernatural people. We just follow the tenets. And so we care about what we're doing. We care about our fellow man. We care about our fellow brothers.
Yep.
We don't beat around the bush. We just care.
Well said.
So with that being said, all of you brothers out there, keep it between the points. Yo, hang loose, dude.
See y'all next week.
Take care. Stay on here, Justin.
I'm going to. Don't tell me.